Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to Dreamweavers Radio, the space where we allow our thoughts to drift and our hearts to speak in the quiet solitude of the night. It's just you and me here. The world outside is asleep. The city has hushed its frantic pulse, and now's the time for us. I imagine you're lying in bed right now. The lights are off, save for the faint ethereal glow from a street lamp filtering through your curtains, painting soft patterns on the ceiling. Perhaps the only other light is the small, demanding glow of your phone, lying face down on the nightstand. It feels heavy, doesn't it? That little rectangle of glass and metal. It feels less like a connection to the world and more like a tether, a chain. You feel a familiar dread mixed with a sense of duty every time it lights up. Every time it vibrates, because you know who it is. And you know the weight that message carries. Let's talk about that weight. Let's talk about the feeling of being a lighthouse for a ship lost in a perpetual storm. Your friend. They are navigating a darkness so profound, so all-consuming, that you can barely comprehend it. Depression is not just sadness. You know, this better than most. It's a thick, suffocating fog that blots out the sun. It's a thief that steals color from the world, joy from laughter, and meaning from life. It's a relentless, cruel whisper that tells them they are worthless, a burden that the world would be better off without them. You've heard these whispers echoed in their voice, typed out in their late-night texts. You've seen the emptiness in their eyes, an abyss that seems to swallow all the light you try to pour into it. And you are their anchor. Their only one, they say, the single thread connecting them to this world. When they are drowning, you are the hand they reach. For when they are falling, you are the one they call out to. They tell you this. They tell you you're the only one who understands. They tell you, I don't know what I would do without you. And then the words that chill you to the bone. The words that have become the invisible bars of your own cage. If you leave me, I'll have nothing left. I'll end it. And just like that, a friendship, a bond that was once a source of joy and comfort, is transformed. It becomes a responsibility of terrifying magnitude. A duty you never asked for, but one you dare not forsake. So you stay. Of course you stay. How could you not? The thought of what might happen if you don't answer that 3 a.m. call is a horror you cannot bear to entertain. The image of their absence, an absence you might have been able to prevent, would haunt you for the rest of your days. So you pick up the phone, you type back the reassuring words. You put your own life, your own needs, your own exhaustion on hold. But tonight, in the safety of this shared silence, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's acknowledge the feeling you've been pushing down, the one you feel so guilty for even thinking. You are so tired. You are tired in your bones and your soul. It's an exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. It's the fatigue of constant vigilance, of walking on emotional eggshells. It's the weariness of being a therapist, a crisis hotline, a cheerleader, and a punching bag, all rolled into one. You find yourself listening to the same cycles of despair, offering the same words of encouragement that feel increasingly hollow. Like smooth, worn-out stones in your mouth, you absorb their pain, their hopelessness, and it seeps into you. Their gray fog is starting to cloud your own sky. You remember the person they were before the storm hit. The laughter you shared, the inside jokes, the easy comfort of their presence. You miss that person. You grieve for that friendship. Now, interaction is a tightrope walk. You're afraid to share your own good news for fear of making them feel worse. You're hesitant to talk about your own struggles because they seem so trivial in comparison to their life or death battle. Your own life, your own vibrant, messy, beautiful life is shrinking. It's being edited, censored, diminished to make space for their illness. And here is the deepest, most shameful secret of all. Sometimes you feel a flicker of resentment, It's quick, it's ugly, and you snuff it out immediately, drowning it in a fresh wave of guilt, resentment for the canceled plans, for the conversations that are always about them, resentment for the emotional chains that bind you to them, and you hate yourself for it. How can you be so selfish? Your friend is fighting for their very life, and here you are complaining about being tired, feeling resentful. But guilt is a heavy blanket pinning you to the bed top, my dear friend. Listen to my voice, breathe in and out. What you are feeling is not monstrous, it is human. It is the natural, inevitable response to carrying an impossible load for far too long. To be a caregiver is a noble act, but to be the sole caregiver under the duress of an emotional threat is a form of erosion. It's the slow, steady wearing away of your own spirit. Tonight, we are not here to find solutions. We are not here to debate right or wrong. We are simply here to acknowledge the truth of your experience, to give it a name, to hold it gently in the palm of our hands. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to be sad for the friendship you've lost. You are allowed to be scared. You are allowed to feel trapped. You are standing in the heart of the storm, holding an umbrella for someone you love, and you are getting drenched. And it is okay to admit that you are cold. It is okay to admit that your arms are aching. It is okay. Just for tonight, let that truth exist without judgment. Breathe. Just breathe. Welcome back. Take a slow, deep breath with me. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the tension in your jaw release. You're safe here. Let's continue our journey into the heart of this heavy silence. And our last moment together, we acknowledge the profound exhaustion that has settled deep within you. Tonight, let's explore where that exhaustion comes from. It isn't just from the late night calls or the long circular conversations. It's from the weight of the title you've been given, the only one. What does it truly mean to be the only one? It means you are the keeper of their most fragile secret. You are the sole witness to their deepest pain. You walk around during the day, interacting with the world, and you carry this knowledge inside you like a hidden heavy stone. You see your colleagues laughing about a TV show. You hear strangers complaining about the rain. You watch families eating dinner in brightly lit restaurants, and it all feels like a movie, a film from a different world, because your reality is tethered to something much darker, much heavier. You feel a strange sense of detachment, as if you're living behind a pane of glass. Your world is tinted by their crisis. To be the only one is to live in a constant state of low-grade, simmering anxiety. It's the what-if game that your mind plays on a loop. What if I miss a call? What if I'm in a meeting or on a plane, or just sleeping so deeply that I don't hear my phone? What if the one time I don't answer is the time? This question, this single terrifying question, governs your life. You check your phone compulsively. You never let the battery die. You keep the ringer on even when you're desperate for uninterrupted peace. The sound of your own ringtone might even make your heart leap into your throat. A Pavlovian response of pure adrenaline and dread. You've become an unwilling expert in emotional calculus. You analyze their every word, every emoji, every silence. A short one-word text could send you into a spiral of worry. I'm fine, can mean 1,000 different things, and rarely does it actually mean they are fine. You've learned to read the subtext, to search for the hidden meaning, to gauge their level of despair from the cadence of their voice or the length of time it takes for them to reply. This constant analysis is draining. It's like running a complex piece of software in the background of your mind all day, every day. It consumes your mental energy, leaving little for your own thoughts, your own dreams, your own problems. And let's talk about your problems. Do you even remember them? When something difficult happens in your own life, a stressful day at work, a disagreement with another friend, a personal disappointment, your first instinct is often to dismiss it. How can you complain about this? How can you feel sad about something so normal when your friend is fighting for their life? So you swallow your own pain. You shelve your own needs. You tell yourself it's not important, but your feelings are not trivial. Your pain is valid. By denying it, you are not saving them. You are simply erasing yourself piece by piece. There's a unique loneliness in this position. You are supporting someone who is isolated by their depression, but in doing so, you have become isolated yourself. Who can you talk to about this? If you share the full extent of the situation with another friend, you feel like you are betraying your friends. Trust. Their deepest vulnerability is not your story to tell. And how could anyone else possibly understand the complexity of it anyway? They might offer simple, unhelpful advice. Just tell them to get help. You need to set boundaries. You can't. Let them manipulate you. They don't understand the nuance. They don't see the love that still exists beneath the fear and the fatigue. They don't understand that this isn't a simple case of manipulation. It's a cry of pain from a person so lost they believe this is their only option. They don't understand the very real terror you feel at the thought of their threat becoming a reality. So you say nothing. You carry it all alone. You are an island connected by a single fraying bridge to another island with a vast, stormy sea separating you from the rest of the world. You miss the simplicity. You miss the days when your biggest worry about this friend was what to get them for their birthday or where to go for dinner. Now, your interactions are shadowed by a sense of life and death. You feel a pressure to say the right thing, to be perfect, to be the magical key that unlocks their will to live. But you are not a trained professional. You are just a person who loves their friend, yes, but a person with limits. And you are reaching your limit. You feel it in the way your patience wears thin, in the way your compassion feels stretched and transparent. And beneath it all, there is a deep, aching love. Don't forget that. The reason this hurts so much is because you care so deeply. You remember their light. You remember the sound of their real laugh, the one that comes from the belly, not the hollow imitation you hear now. You remember their passions, the things that used to make their eyes sparkle. You're holding on to the memory of that person, hoping that one day they will find their way back. This love is what makes you pick up the phone. It's what makes you stay. But love, when mixed with this level of fear and obligation, can become twisted. It can start to feel like a burden. And the guilt of feeling that way is perhaps the heaviest weight of all. For now, just rest in this understanding. You are not just tired. You are carrying the weight of a world on your shoulders, a world that isn't yours. You are the lighthouse keeper, yes, but even the lighthouse keeper must rest. Even they must sometimes turn their gaze from the raging, see to the quiet, steady flame within their own tower. Your flame needs tending too. It's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to feel the immense, crushing weight of it all. Breathe in and let it go. You are not alone in this feeling. I am here with you. Here we are again, you and I, floating in this quiet space. Breathe with me, a long, slow breath and a gentle sigh out. You're doing so well. Just by being here, just by allowing yourself to listen, you are giving yourself a gift of acknowledgement. We've talked about the weariness that has settled into your bones. We've spoken of the immense responsibility that rests upon your shoulders, the feeling of being the one and only pillar in a relentless storm. Now, let's venture a little deeper into a place that might be more uncomfortable, but a place that needs the gentle light of understanding shone upon it. Let's talk about what this constant caregiving, this constant crisis has done to you. Let's talk about the slow, quiet erosion of your own self. Do you remember who you were before you? became a full-time lighthouse? Think back. What did you used to love to do? Maybe it was painting, losing yourself for hours in strokes of color and texture. Maybe it was hiking, feeling the good burn in your legs and the sun on your face as you reached a summit. Maybe it was something as simple as reading a novel, curled up on the sofa, completely lost in another world. Where have those things gone? They haven't vanished in a dramatic puff of smoke. They faded away, slowly, quietly, without you even noticing at first. The paintbrush lies dry. The hiking boots gather dust. The book sits on your nightstand with a bookmark in the same place it was 3 months ago. There's simply no energy left. After you've spent hours counseling your friend, calming their panic, and absorbing their despair, how could there be any room left for your own joy? Your own passions start to feel frivolous, unimportant, self-indulgent. The very landscape of your personality has begun to change. Perhaps you were once the funny one in your group, always ready with a quick joke. Now, you find your laughter is quieter, less frequent. Sometimes when you do laugh, a pang of guilt follows instantly. How can you be happy, even for a moment, when your friend is suffering so much? So you police your own joy. You mute your own light, afraid it might be too bright for their sensitive eyes, and the love you feel for them. Let's be honest about how that has changed too. The love is still there, a deep and foundational part of your connection, but it's become tangled with something else. It's intertwined with pity. You look at them and your heart aches with a profound sadness for what their illness has taken from them. This pity is a heavy, sorrowful thing. It changes the dynamic. You are no longer equals, two friends walking side by side. You have become the carer and they, the patient. The relationship is now defined by their need and your provision. This isn't the friendship you chose, but it's the one you have. And the shift makes your heart ache for what has been lost. And now, let us speak of the most difficult feeling of all, the one that carries the most shame, resentment. Let it surface, just for a moment, here in this safe space. Let's look at it without judgment. The resentment isn't about your friend. It's about the situation. It's the cry of the part of you that is suffocating. It's the part of you that misses your life. You resent the phone calls that interrupt your dinner, your sleep, your moments of peace. You resent the conversations that feel like a broken record of hopelessness. You resent the fact that you can't make plans without a contingency for a crisis. You resent the invisible chains that keep you from being spontaneous, from being free, from just being you. And the moment you feel it, the guilt crashes down like a tidal wave. What is wrong with me? You ask yourself. My friend is in agony and I'm feeling annoyed. This guilt is the warden of your internal prison. It tells you that your needs are selfish, that your feelings are monstrous, but they are not. Listen to me. Your resentment is not a sign that you are a bad person. It is a sign that you are a person who has given too much. It is a distress signal from your own soul. Imagine you are a well and your friend is drawing water from you every single day. At first, you give freely, happily, but the well is not infinite. And when the water level gets dangerously low, the scraping sound of the bucket against the dry stone bottom is the sound of your resentment. It's a warning that the well is about to run dry. It's not a sign of malice. It's a sign of depletion. You may feel like a ghost in your own life. You go through the motions, you work, you eat, you talk to people, but your mind, your spirit is elsewhere. It's hovering around your friend, constantly monitoring, constantly worrying. You are not fully present in your own experiences because a significant part of your consciousness is on standby, waiting for the next emergency. This is the erosion. You are slowly disappearing from your own story, becoming a supporting character in someone else's tragedy. Your own dreams and aspirations. They seem like distant stars, too far away to even think about reaching for. Your focus has narrowed to a single point, keeping your friend alive. It is a noble, loving goal, but it has come at the cost of your own vitality. Your own world, which was once a sprawling, colorful map of possibilities, has shrunk to the size of a single dimly lit room. Tonight, I want to give you permission to grieve. Grieve for the person you were. Grieve for the hobbies and joys that have faded. Grieve for the simple, easy friendship you once had. Grieve for the parts of yourself that you have lost along the way. Your grief is real. Your loss is significant. Acknowledging it isn't selfish. It's the first step toward finding yourself again. You don't have to act on it. You don't have to change anything tonight. Just allow the feeling to be. Sit with it. Let it tell you its story. The story of a good, kind person who is trying their very best to save someone they love and is losing themselves in the process. That is your truth, and it deserves to be heard. Breathe in that truth. And as you breathe out, let a little bit of the guilt go with it, just for now. Welcome back, my friend. Let's settle in once more. Feel the surface beneath you, supporting you completely. Feel the air as it enters your lungs, a quiet gift of life. We have traveled through the landscapes of exhaustion, of responsibility, and of your own fading self. Now we must approach the very heart of the storm. We must speak of the thing that holds all of this together. The chain that binds you. Let's talk about the threat. It's the heaviest silence in the room. It may have been said only once in a moment of utter desperation, or perhaps it's a recurring theme, a dark cloud that looms over every difficult conversation. The words themselves are seared into your memory. If you leave, I'll kill myself. Or some variation of that. You're the only reason I'm still here. I can't do this without you. It is, in effect, an unspoken contract that you never agreed to sign. It's a contract written in the ink of fear and desperation, and it states that your presence is the price of their life. And what a terrifying, impossible contract that is to live by. It transforms the very nature of your relationship. It is no longer just a friendship rooted in mutual affection and choice. It has become a hostage situation where the hostage is your own freedom and the ransom is their very existence. Let's be very clear, and this is important. Your friend is not a monster. They are not a master manipulator, cackling as they pull your strings. They are a person in an agony so immense, so blinding, that they have reached for the most powerful tool they have to ensure they do not lose. Their only lifeline, their threat is not born of malice. It is born of terror. It is a symptom of their illness, a desperate, primal scream from the deepest part of them that is terrified of being abandoned in the dark. To understand this is to hold on to compassion for them, but to validate their pain does not mean we must invalidate yours. Because while their threat comes from a place of desperation, its effect on you is devastating. It paralyzes you. It strips you of your agency. How can you set a boundary? How can you say, I need a night to myself, when the voice in your head screams, what if tonight is the night they can't handle being alone? How can you express your own hurt or frustration when the stakes are this high? Any move you make to protect yourself, to reclaim a small piece of your own life, feels like a monumental, unforgivable gamble. So you are trapped. It's a perfect, terrible trap. If you stay and continue down this path, you feel yourself disappearing, your own mental health fraying at the edges. The resentment builds, the exhaustion deepens, and your capacity for genuine compassion diminishes, replaced by a weary sense of duty. But the alternative, the thought of leaving, of setting that hard boundary, is unthinkable. It comes with a vision of the worst possible outcome, a tragedy that you would forever believe was your fault. You would carry that guilt, that what if, like a shroud for the rest of your life. This is why all the well-meaning advice from the outside world feels so useless. You have to take care of yourself first. They say they don't understand. 2. You taking care of yourself feels synonymous with abandoning your friend. It feels like an act of profound selfishness, the consequences of which are too horrific to contemplate. This threat silences you. It forces you to swallow your own needs. It makes you an actor in a play where you must always be calm, always be supportive, always be available. You can't show that you're tired. You can't show that you're angry. You can't show that you're scared. Because any sign of your own weakness, you fear, might be the final straw that breaks their fragile hold on life. You feel a profound and desperate loneliness, the loneliness of someone who is holding a bomb and has been told that if they move, it will detonate. You can't ask for help. You can't put it down. You can only stand there, frozen, while your own muscles scream and protest. And sometimes, in the dead of night, another feeling might surface: anger. Not just resentment at the inconvenience, but a deeper, hotter anger. Anger at the illness itself, this cruel thief that has stolen your friend. Anger at the unfairness of the universe for placing this impossible burden on you. And even in your most private, guilt-ridden moments, a flash of anger at your friend for putting you in this position. You immediately feel ashamed of this anger, but it is a valid human response. It is the part of you that loves life, that cherishes freedom. Raging against the cage that has been built around you, I want to offer you a thought tonight. It may be a difficult one to hold. You can listen to it, and then you can let it go if it doesn't serve you. The thought is this: you do not ultimately hold the power of life and death over your friend. It feels like you do. Their words have made you believe that you do. But a person's life is their own journey. Their battle with their illness is their own. You can be a support. You can be a companion. You can be a source of love and light. But you cannot be a cure. You cannot single-handedly fight their demons for them. The ultimate choice, as terrifying as it is, rests with them in the complex web of their illness, their history, and their pain. To begin to accept this is not an act of abandonment. It is an act of humility. It is acknowledging that you are human. You are a friend, not a savior. Believing you have the ultimate power is a form of hubris, a weight that no single person was ever meant to carry. Letting go of that perceived power doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying the blame for a choice that is not and never can be yours to make. Just let that thought sit with you. Don't fight it. Don't argue with it. Just let it be a small seed. For now, all we need to do is acknowledge the chain, acknowledge the trap, and honor the love and fear that keeps you standing there, holding on so tightly. Breathe. You are doing the impossible, and you are still here. That in itself is a testament to your strength. And here we are, together again. Let's start with a breath, our shared ritual in this quiet hour. Breathe in deep, filling your lungs with the cool night air. And as you exhale, imagine you are releasing just one small thread of the tension you're holding. Let it drift away. My dear friend, we have walked through some very dark woods together tonight. We've named the exhaustion. We've felt the crushing weight of responsibility. We've witnessed the slow erosion of your own soul, and we've stared directly at the invisible chains that hold you captive. We have sat with your truth in all its painful complexity. And now I want to gently turn our focus. We have given so much space to the storm. Now let's talk about the lighthouse keeper. Let's talk about you. I want to introduce a word into our space tonight. It's a word you have given endlessly to your friend, but perhaps have never thought to offer yourself. The word is compassion. Self-compassion. Right now, your inner voice might be scoffing at that. Compassion for myself? How absurd. How selfish. My friend is the one who is suffering. I hear that voice. I understand it. It is the voice of guilt, the warden we spoke of earlier. But tonight, let's ask that voice to just step aside for a little while. Let's entertain a new idea. You have heard the saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I want you to truly visualize that for a moment. See yourself as a vessel, a cup, a pitcher. For months, maybe years, you have been pouring out everything you have. Your energy, your patience, your hope, your love, into your friend's life. You have given every last drop, and now, when you tip yourself over, nothing comes out but dust. You are empty. How can you possibly give them the life-sustaining water they need when you yourself are completely dry? Continuing to try and pour from an empty vessel doesn't help them. It just cracks the vessel. Your exhaustion is not a secret you can hide. It shows in the sigh you try to suppress. It's in the slight edge to your voice when you're on your 10th reassurance of the day. It's in the way your own light has dimmed. Your friend, even through the fog of their depression, can likely sense this. Your depletion doesn't serve them. It only adds an unspoken layer of guilt and tension to your interactions. Self-compassion is not a selfish indulgence. In your situation, it is a radical act of survival. It is the understanding that your well-being is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the raw material from which you can offer any meaningful support at all. A lighthouse with a flickering, dying bulb is a danger to the very ships it is trying to guide. Your first duty as the lighthouse keeper is to ensure your own light is fueled. So what does this self-compassion look like? It doesn't have to mean grand gestures. It's not about booking a vacation or treating yourself to expensive things. It's much quieter, much more fundamental than that. It can be as simple as giving yourself permission. Permission to feel what you feel without judgment. Permission to be angry at the situation. Permission to be sad for your own losses. Permission to admit just to yourself in the dark, this is too much for me. It can be a small act of physical care. Did you eat a proper meal today? Or did you just grab something while anxiously checking your phone? Self-compassion can be the act of sitting down for 10 minutes and eating a nourishing meal without distraction. It is telling your body, you matter too. You need fuel to keep going. Did you get any sleep last night? Self-compassion can be turning your phone on silent for just 1 hour, placing it in another room, and allowing your nervous system to have a moment of true, uninterrupted peace. Just 1 hour, that is not abandonment. That is triage. I want you to try a small exercise with me just in your mind. Imagine a person you love and respect deeply. Now, imagine that person comes to you and describes the exact situation you are in. They tell you about their friend, the depression, the constant calls, the threat of suicide, their bone-deep exhaustion, their guilt, their resentment. They tell you they're losing themselves. What would you say to them? You would not call them selfish. You would not tell them to just suck it up. Your heart would flood with compassion for them. You would tell them that their feelings are valid. You would tell them they are carrying an impossible burden. You would tell them they are a good, loving person for even trying. You would worry about them. You would urge them gently to find a way to care for themselves, not as a betrayal of their friend, but as a way to survive. Now, why is it so hard to offer that same grace, that same understanding to yourself? Tonight, I want you to try to be that friend to yourself. I want you to wrap yourself in that same blanket of gentle understanding. Whisper the words you would say to that other person to yourself. It's okay that you're tired. You are doing so much. Your pain is also real. You also deserve to be cared for. This is not about finding a solution to the entire problem. We are not there yet. This is simply about shifting your perspective ever so slightly. It's about realizing that you and your friend are not on opposite sides of a scale, where one's well-being must go down for the others to go up. You are two people in the same storm, and you will be of no use to anyone if you let the waves pull you under. Learning to care for yourself in this situation is like learning to put on your own oxygen mask in a crashing plane. You are not saving yourself instead of them. You are saving yourself so that you might have a chance of helping them. Breathe in the idea of compassion. Breathe out the harshness of judgment. You are worthy of care. Your health matters. Your spirit matters. You matter. Let that simple, profound truth be the lullaby that begins to soothe your weary heart tonight. And so we arrive at the final part of our journey tonight. The sky outside your window is still dark, but there is a promise of dawn in the air. Let's take one last deep breath together. The deepest one yet. Breathe in and hold it for just a moment. And now exhale with a long, slow sigh. Let it all go. We have traveled so far. From the shores of profound exhaustion across the plains of impossible responsibility. We've navigated the ghostlands of your fading self, faced the terrifying contract that binds you, and just recently, we lit a small, warm candle of self-compassion. You have done the brave work of looking at your truth. And now, what do we do with this truth? The path forward is not a sudden, magical solution. It is a single, small step. And that step is built on one foundational understanding. You cannot do this alone, and you were never meant to. You have been acting as a doctor, a therapist, a paramedic, and a warden, all while being only a friend. A loving, wonderful friend, yes, but a friend nonetheless. Your friend's depression is a serious, complex medical condition. If they had a severe physical illness, you wouldn't hesitate to tell them they need a doctor, a specialist. You wouldn't try to perform surgery on them yourself on your kitchen table. You would know you weren't equipped. You would know that true love means getting them to an expert who can actually save them. It is the same with this. The most loving, the most supportive, the most helpful thing you can do for your friend now is to help them connect with professional help. This is not abandonment. I want you to hear that again. This is not you pushing them away or offloading them. This is you calling in reinforcements. This is a lone, exhausted soldier realizing they cannot win a war by themselves and calling for the trained army. It is an act of ultimate love. It is saying, your life is so precious to me that I refuse to be the only person in charge of protecting it. You deserve better. You deserve a team. How do you do this? Gently, lovingly, but firmly. It might be a conversation that starts with, I love you, and I will never stop being your friend. But I am terrified because I am not a professional, and your pain is so great. You deserve expert care, someone who knows how to truly guide you through this. I will sit with you while you make the call. I will drive you to the appointment. I will hold your hand. We can do this together, but we must bring in help. They may resist. They may get angry. They may repeat their threat. That is the illness talking, the part of them that is terrified of change. And you can validate that fear. I know it's scary, but the path we are on now is not working. It is hurting both of us. Let's just try. Let's just take one small step. You are not responsible for their reaction. You are only responsible for your loving action. The action of opening a door to a safer, more sustainable path. You cannot force them to walk through it. That choice must be theirs. But by opening that door, you are changing the dynamic from one of unhealthy dependence to one of active, hopeful recovery. You are redefining your role from a sole, fragile lifeline to a supportive part of a larger, stronger safety net. Tonight, you don't have to have that conversation. You don't have to do anything but rest. But I want to plant the seed of possibility in your mind, a future where you are not the only one. A future where the weight is shared. A future where you can be their friend again, not just their crisis manager. It is time for you to rest now. You have carried this weight through the long hours of the night. It's time to gently, metaphorically, set it down beside your bed. Just for tonight, give yourself permission, visualize that heavy burden, see it as a heavy backpack you've been wearing. Now, in your mind, slowly slip the straps off your aching shoulders. Feel the immediate relief as the weight lifts. Hear the soft thud as it rests on the floor. It will be there in the morning, but for now, you are free of it. Your only job right now is to sleep, to let your body and your mind heal, to drift into the gentle currents of your dreams. You have done enough. You're enough. Let my voice be the last whisper you hear as you drift off. Let the quiet music be the boat that carries you to the shores of deep, restorative sleep. You're not alone. You are understood, and you have permission to rest. Sleep now, my dear friend. Sleep